and this is gonna be lesson 159. What we are going to do is that we're gonna start working on Think C, and we are going to work with predicate nominative, okay? So Think C, it says, a predicate adjective must modify the subject, be able to explain why the following idolized adjectives are not predicate adjectives. Draw an arrow to the word that each one modifies, okay? So on sentence number 1, it says, she is a true friend, okay? So the word that we have in idolize is true, okay? So this is not a predicate adjective, but a predicate is a predicate nominative, okay? And which word does it modify? So which word does true modify? It modifies friend, okay? Number 2, I am a very fortunate girl. So fortunate, what word is fortunate modifying? Girl. So we draw the arrow going to girl. Number 3, my teacher is a spelling expert. So spelling modifies expert. Number 4, New York is our largest city. Largest modifies what? City. Columbus was the courageous discoverer of the New World. So courageous modifies which word? Discovered. Okay? Very good. Let's take a look closely. It says, if a sentence does not have a linking verb, it will not have a predicate adjective. Predicate adjectives come directly after the linking verb, unless the sentence is a question. Were you sick yesterday? Verb is were, the subject is you, and the predicate adjective is sick. Read the subject, verb, and predicate adjective together. If you have chosen the correct words, they will make sense. Were you sick? Yeah, so that's does make sense. On right D, let me move this a little further up so you could see. So were you sick? Is this right D? It says read the directions below. Write your sentences on notebook paper. On right D is asking you to rewrite the sentence number 2 from Think C, which is I am a very fortunate girl. So that fortunate is a predicate adjective. So how do you think you could make this the sentence be a predicate adjective? Remember, a predicate adjective comes directly after the linking verb. Predicate adjective comes directly after the linking verb. The sentence is, I am a very fortunate girl. So how would you convert this sentence into a predicate adjective? And my answer is, I am very fortunate. That would be the sentence. I am very fortunate. That would be the sentence, and that's how I will turn fortunate into a predicate adjective. Number 2, it says rewrite sentence 5 from Think C. So that courageous is a predicate adjective. So it would be, the sentence is, Columbus was the courageous discoverer of the New World. So if I want to put that as a predicate adjective, it would be Columbus was courageous. Again, my sentence should be Columbus was courageous. Okay? Moving on. Remember E. It says write the correct answers. The questions that an adjective answers are: what questions does an adjective answer? Think about it. There are 5 of them. What questions does an adjective answers? Okay? I'm gonna give you 1 minute so you could write it in your papers. Think about it. What questions does an adjective answers? Which one? What kind? How many? How much? And whose? Again, what questions does an adjective answer? Which one? What kind? How many? How much? And whose? Okay? Let's move on to the next page. The next page, and I'm sure you are familiar with this, you are going to do diagramming complements. It says, learn to diagram the 4 complements by studying these examples. So all that we're gonna do today is just look at the example. Before we do that, I am going to go ahead and start by reading Think Back. Okay? So Think Back says, the line in front of a direct object is vertical. The line in front of a predicate nominative or a predicate adjective is slanted back towards the subject. Predicate nouns and predicate adjectives are diagrammed exactly the same way. As indirect object, an indirect object is always diagrammed beneath the verb. It is diagrammed almost like a prepositional phrase, except that there is no preposition. Okay, let's look at the examples. Number 1, it says direct object, and it says, Tonto won the race. So we have here, Tonto won, that's the subject and the predicate. Then we have race, and we have the complement, right? The indirect object, the Lone Star Ranger taught the rustler a lesson. Lone Ranger, that's the subject, taught lesson, that's the predicate, so taught is the verb, right? And then we have the, because the complements the Lone Ranger. And then thought, and we have the rustlers because that is what complements thought. Then after, if we look at the sentence, it says the, that goes after rustler. And then we have lesson, and underneath we have its complement, which is a. Okay? Number 3. Number 3 says predicate nominative. The Lone Ranger is a hero. So Lone Ranger is hero. So Lone Ranger would be the subject. And then we have hero. And if we remember on Think Back, it says that the predicate nominative, the line is slanted back towards the subject. That's where hero is. And then the complement, which is a. Okay? The predicate adjective. Tonto is loyal. Loyal is the predicate adjective, so we see that the line in front of it is slanted towards the subject. Tonto is the subject. Okay? So this is just an introduction on how to diagram. We're gonna practice and go into more as we come to the next lesson. But today, for this lesson, is just going to be this. Make sure that you reread this information. Make sure that you review it so that when we actually start with the diagram, you have an idea as to what we're doing. This is all for today. I will see you tomorrow.